I think it starts with, understanding what university is all about, that is much bigger than course. I mean, you get to meet a lot. I mean, if you look at what's happening in the world, a lot of leaders went to varsity, a lot of billionaires, well, most of them went to varsity, so you get to meet a lot of people. So it's a place for you to, to just network with other people. So I think once you start realizing that you can learn a lot, there are different platforms, there are different organizations where you can learn what your interests are, so it's not just about course. You can explore anything else that you are also interested in, because at varsity you also get to learn more about yourself.
Yeah,
You
true.
might be thinking, I'm all about, science, astronomy. That's all I'm about. And then you get to varsity and you hear about absent. And then now all of a sudden, you're concerned about your finances. And that can lead you, to bigger places. You get to meet a lot of amazing people. So I think if you understand that, then you might want to, explore other avenues other than just study.
Because this is how UK and student look. This is how vets people look. I need to look like that, and then they mess the whole thing up, and that trust me, it will affect you psychologically without noticing first, and then when it starts to reflect badly on your academics, that's when you really feel the heat, and you start doing everything that you didn't come here to do.
Because, there are many things, or there are many challenges that first year face, which most of them are very psychological, and sometimes we don't talk about those. When they start to fade, we just start to think that they are not studying or they are not being focused. But there are things that happen that actually shut their mind or that affect them psychologically. And for you, the passing of a mother did that. So me and you are in the academic space. So it brings me to this point to say, as someone in the academic space, as someone who is exposed to first years, you see them, you interact with them, what are some of the challenges that you see them facing, that actually affect them psychologically, that I think we should be able to raise here, to be like this and this and this and that. I think bereavement is one of those. When a first year loses their, one of their loved ones, it actually becomes that. The environment, from what I've seen, is that it also affects them. Some of them, they start to think that, am I gonna, they start to think, am I going to be able to make it here? The place is huge, and there is everyone, so there is that shock to be like, oh, there is this people, they start find themselves being small in the environment. So those are some of the things, but I'd like you to maybe expatiate on that. What are some of the things, that you see affecting first years at that level?
Yeah, man. If one have to just overlook at what happens before they get to the university and focus on what could possibly cause some psychological problems at the university. Obviously some people come with some problems, already, but if we can just pay attention to what happens at the university. One thing I'll tell you, we come from poor families. I don't want to put this in an educated way or something like that. I'm just gonna put it as it is. Poor, meaning as in like do not have. You do not have money. You do not have this to buy that. All you have, you do not have the looks for this place. you look like, you really look like you from Limpopo. You look Limpopo. You look banging. When someone looks at you, they can tell that this one is really from Nongoma. This one. So that's one thing that people first years tend to focus on. That okay, I don't look like I belong here. I don't look like a vet student. And then they tend to want to look like a vet student, and believe me, trust me, that takes a lot of, it takes a lot from your brain to actually for the student to notice. It really takes a lot of time, and it's tiring up here to say, I need to get sneakers of that nature, or those sneakers, or that. I need to look like I belong to that. I need to belong. I need to look like UKZN students. And students usually put in so much thought in this that it shifts, their focus from the main, and then they start focusing on ways of making money. As I said, we come from poor families. They start looking for ways of making money, and you trust me, as a first year student, you are most likely to get that wrong. The ways of making money, you might be underqualified to start thinking about that at that level. So what the easiest option that you go is like hustling your family, which is wrong, even though you know that these guys are poor. Or if you don't do that, if you are lucky enough not to do that, you're just gonna get the wrong things. You're gonna get the wrong friends. You're gonna, and I don't care whether you're talking about male or female students. It's the same boat, man. You're gonna get the wrong friends. The friends that you think, okay, these guys are cool. I wanna look like these guys. So let me get to know these guys, how they do this. And then you realize, hey, these ones, they go to Florida. And then you start this thing this feeling that you feel like you need to go to Florida too. You need to belong to this group of people. And then to go to Florida, you will want some money. And if you don't have money, you will find guys with money at Florida. Boom, big issue. So that's one thing, man. That's really one thing that affects the guys, that they look at people and then they think, I need to look like that because this is how UKZN students look. This is how vets people look. I need to look like that. And then they mess the whole thing up. And that trust me, it will affect you psychologically without noticing first. And then when it starts to reflect badly on your academics, that's when you really feel the heat, and you start doing everything that you didn't come here to do.
It's very interesting, because somehow our minds, are very relational, our minds compare a lot. And I think, what you're narrating, especially, it happens, I think, to a lot of, students when we come to varsity, that hunger to fit in, and that's when now, people start to do that, wanting to be cool and all of those type of things. So you mainly talk about being grounded in yourself, and the most importantly also in your background, because those things are very much important.